My beloved child, stay here with me for a moment. Maybe you clicked on this while trying to quiet the heaviness you've been carrying, or maybe you were simply tired of holding everything together by yourself. But your heart has been searching for comfort longer than you realize, and I want you to hear me clearly now. I am Jesus, your Lord, and I have come close to remind you that I have seen every silent battle, every exhausted prayer, and every tear you tried to hide from the world. I know the nights when you kept staring at your phone just to avoid your thoughts, and the mornings when even getting out of bed felt heavier than anyone around you understood. I saw the moments you smiled in front of people while your chest carried fear, grief, and disappointment all at once. I heard every quiet prayer whispered into the dark when it seemed like heaven had gone silent. And even then, I stayed beside you, closer than you knew, holding you through moments when you felt completely alone. Listen to me carefully now, because these words are meant to bring life back into the tired places within you. The season you have been walking through has changed, even if everything around you has not fully caught up yet. Healing is already beginning in places you stopped checking, and the weight you have carried for so long is starting to loosen its grip. What has wounded your heart does not have the authority to define who you are becoming. You carried pain for longer than you should have had to. I watched betrayal shake your confidence and watched trusted people walk away while you quietly questioned your worth. I saw anxiety fill your thoughts and sickness drain your strength until you wondered how much longer you could keep enduring it all. Through every moment I remained near you, gathering every tear and holding your heart together when it felt like it was falling apart. So hear me when I tell you this. The pain was never meant to destroy you. Even in the waiting, I was building endurance in you, teaching you trust, and preparing your heart for what comes next. The struggles shaped something deeper inside you, something steady enough to carry what I am leading you into now. This moment matters, and the changes beginning in your spirit are real, even if they feel quiet at first. The enemy tried to fill your mind with fear, shame, and doubt, hoping you would slowly let go of your faith. But even in your weakest moments, you kept reaching for me, and I never overlooked that. Right now, there are burdens beginning to break away from your life. Burdens of fear, loneliness, exhaustion, and despair that have weighed on you for far too long. One of the first things you will notice is this. Your soul will begin to breathe again, and your mind will no longer feel at war with itself all the time. I am restoring the places in you that have felt empty and worn down. Relationships that wounded your heart will no longer have the final word over your life, and confusion will slowly give way to clarity, peace, and direction. I am breathing fresh strength into you, not only into your circumstances, but into the deepest parts of your spirit. This season ahead is more than wishful thinking. It is the beginning of something I have been carefully preparing for you. If this message is speaking to the part of you that has been quietly holding everything together, say amen, and trust me more than your fear. But listen closely to this warning as well. Do not return to the places, patterns, or people that kept reopening your wounds. Do not pick back up the burdens I am teaching you to release. Walking forward with me will require trust, courage, and a willingness to leave behind what has been draining your peace. Remember who you are in my eyes. You are deeply loved, fully seen, and still held by me even after everything you have walked through. No betrayal, failure, or painful chapter has the authority to erase your value. My love remains steady over your life, and it has never changed for a single moment. Open your heart to me now, fully and honestly. You do not have to keep holding on to the bitterness, the anger, or the quiet doubts that have been exhausting your spirit for so long. Let my peace settle into the places inside you that have felt tense, restless, and overwhelmed. Spend time with me in prayer, in still moments where you stop performing and simply let yourself be known, because I will continue guiding you gently toward what lies ahead. I will make the path clearer one step at a time, and I will bring life back to the hopes you thought had faded for good. Some of the dreams you buried out of disappointment are beginning to breathe again, even if you cannot fully see it yet. Trust my timing, because I have never been absent from your story, and I have never arrived too late. Right now, even in ways you do not completely understand, you are standing at the edge of something new unfolding in your life. My beloved child, I need you to receive this deeply in your spirit. You have already survived seasons that once made you think you would break, and the hardest moments did not destroy you. Now I am asking you to move forward with courage, not because you suddenly have all the answers, but because you are no longer walking alone. Keep your attention on me, stay close to my voice, and remember that my presence has remained with you through every painful chapter. There is still more I need to speak into your heart, so do not rush away from this moment. Let these words settle deeper than your thoughts, because they are meant to reach the tired places hidden underneath your strength. You have carried shame that never truly belonged to you, and you believed lies that slowly convinced you that you were weak, unwanted, or unworthy. But I never spoke over your life the way fear did, and I never defined you by your failures or your worst days. I have always called you by name with love and purpose long before anyone wounded your confidence. I see the strength it took for you to keep showing up for others while quietly falling apart inside. I saw the nights you kept saying, "I'm fine," because you did not know how to explain the heaviness sitting in your chest. And through all of it, your kindness, your endurance, and the faith you held on to in small, fragile ways were never wasted in my hands. Seeds were being planted in places you could not yet see. The tears you cried in private watered something that is beginning to grow now, and the prayers you thought went unanswered were still heard by me. You kept wondering when life would finally begin to shift for you, when it would finally feel like hope belonged to your story too. And little by little, that shift is already happening, even if your healing still feels quiet and unfinished. The voices that once made you feel invisible will lose their hold over you. The shame that followed you from season to season no longer gets to speak louder than my love for you. I am giving you a steadier voice now, one rooted in truth instead of fear. And I want you to remember again that this moment matters. I know your story completely. Every hidden wound, every disappointment, every fear you tried to carry by yourself, and still I remain close to you. The enemy wanted you to believe that nothing would ever change, that you had already missed your chance, that your life would always feel heavy and delayed. But hear me clearly. The confusion is losing its grip, the shame is losing its power, and the exhaustion that has lived in your soul for so long will not define your future. Let your faith slowly rise again. Let yourself hope again. Let your heart remember what it feels like to look ahead without fear tightening around your chest. There may still be battles ahead, but you will not walk through them the same way you once did. You will begin to carry a different kind of peace, a steadiness that comes from knowing I am with you in every moment. I have never been distant from your pain, and I am closer to you now than you realize. The opinions spoken over your life by others will never outweigh my voice, because my words over you remain constant, full of truth, and filled with love that does not change. My words over your life still stand, and I need you to begin agreeing with them again. Speak with hope instead of repeating what fear has been whispering to you in exhausted moments. Speak from the promises I have given you instead of constantly replaying your past failures, disappointments, and wounds. Even before you fully see the changes around you, faith begins when you allow your heart to believe that healing, provision, and restoration are already finding their way toward you. I am placing a new kind of joy inside you, one that does not depend on circumstances being perfect. There will be moments where laughter rises out of you naturally again, even after seasons where your spirit felt too tired to smile. I am bringing people into your life who will care for your heart gently, people who will encourage you instead of draining you, and who will walk beside you with honesty and love. The season of constantly giving while feeling emotionally empty is beginning to loosen its hold on you. Listen closely to me again. I am not only restoring what has been wounded in you, I am strengthening your voice, deepening your peace, and teaching you how to stand differently in the world. Others will begin to notice the calmness growing inside you, the steadiness that came through pain and surrender, and it will not point back to your own strength, but to what I can do inside a heart that finally stopped carrying everything alone. Your life itself will begin telling a story of healing. Do not keep turning around to reopen doors I already closed for your protection. Some things had to leave your life because they could not follow you into the peace I am leading you toward. Trust me enough to stop chasing what I removed, even if part of you still misses it sometimes. You asked me to guide your life, and now I am asking you to trust my hands even during moments when my process feels slow or difficult to understand. I know this message is stirring deep emotions in you. That is because this is reaching beyond information and touching the places inside you that have quietly needed healing for a long time. You are not weak because you feel emotional right now, and you are not beyond restoration because life has exhausted you. In many ways, this is where healing truly begins. Not in pretending you are strong, but in finally allowing yourself to be honest before me. And if these messages have been bringing comfort to your heart or helping you feel closer to God, your support and kindness are deeply appreciated. But stay here with me a little longer because there is still more I want to place gently into your spirit. This moment cannot be rushed. Your soul is beginning to breathe again, and healing is reaching deeper than the surface now, touching the hidden places you rarely let anyone see. You spent so much time trying to survive by staying busy, staying quiet, and acting like everything was okay. You became skilled at carrying pain silently while still showing up for everyone else around you. But I saw through every forced smile, every sleepless night, every moment where your thoughts kept racing after everyone else had gone home. I saw the memories that still hurt, the disappointments you never fully processed, and the questions you were afraid to ask out loud. Now I am reaching into those exact places, not to shame you, but to heal you. Let me touch the heartbreak you buried and the failure that convinced you your chance had already passed. Hear me clearly. Your story is not ruined, and your future has never slipped out of my hands. I have been protecting what is ahead for you with more care than you realize, waiting for the right season to bring it forward. You have tried to fix everything through your own effort for so long. You carried responsibilities, emotions, and pressure that were never meant to rest completely on your shoulders. I did not create you to survive through constant striving and exhaustion. I created you to walk closely with me, to lean on me honestly, and to allow me to carry what your heart was never designed to hold alone. You asked why the waiting lasted so long, and I know there were days when the silence felt painful. But the delay was shaping something important inside you. Through the dark seasons, I was teaching you how to trust my voice, how to remain steady when life felt uncertain, and how to keep your faith alive even when you could not yet see the outcome. If certain doors had opened too early, you would have entered them carrying wounds you were still healing from. But now I see something different growing inside you. I see faith that survived difficult seasons. I see humility that came through broken moments, and trust that continued forming even in the fire. And I see a heart that is becoming ready for what I have been preparing all along. And I want to tell you again, this season is shifting. Let these words settle deeper than your thoughts and reach the places in your spirit that have grown tired from carrying so much for so long. Something new is already beginning to rise within your life, even if it still feels small and quiet right now. Maybe you have noticed it in little ways lately, the heaviness not sitting on your chest quite as tightly, the tears coming a little less often, the moments of peace appearing without warning. That is me reminding you that I am still working. I will not abandon the promises I made to you, and I will not leave your story unfinished in pain. The voices that told you that you would never recover, never heal, or never move forward again do not get the final say over your life. I do. And I am speaking restoration over you, peace over you, and strength over the exhausted places inside you. There will be laughter in your life again, genuine laughter that rises naturally instead of being forced for the comfort of other people. You will stop shrinking yourself to survive. You will stop questioning your value every time life becomes difficult. I created you carefully and intentionally, and nothing about you was made without purpose. You are not forgotten, overlooked, or less important than everyone around you. You are deeply loved by me, and I have never looked at your life through the lens of your failures. The healing you are receiving will not stay only within you. There will be people who cross your path carrying the same kind of pain you once carried quietly, and your presence will remind them that healing is possible. The compassion growing in you through these difficult seasons will become a source of hope for others. And when people begin asking what changed in you, your answer will not come from pride, but from honesty. Jesus stayed with me when I thought I was falling apart, and slowly, everything began changing. So do not rush past this moment too quickly. Sit with it. Let it settle into your heart, because these words are meant to strengthen you when fear tries to return later. When doubt whispers old lies to you again, remember what I have already spoken over your life. When anxiety tells you that nothing is changing, answer it with truth, and remind yourself that your pain no longer has authority over who you are becoming. You are entering a season where things will begin unfolding differently than before. Some prayers will be answered in unexpected ways, and certain doors will open at moments you did not plan for. But stay close to me instead of becoming consumed with chasing outcomes or blessings. I will guide you step by step, protect your heart carefully, and lead you in ways that bring peace rather than confusion. Rest now, my child. You do not have to force your future into existence through fear or exhaustion. Breathe deeply again. Let yourself smile again without guilt. Let your heart open again little by little, because I have remained beside you through every season, even the ones where you stopped feeling my presence clearly. I never left you, and my love for you has never weakened for a single moment. You are safe with me, fully seen by me, and you are stepping into a season where life will become more than simple survival. There were nights you honestly thought you could not keep going, moments where your mind felt overwhelmed and your heart felt too tired to continue carrying everything. But somehow you kept moving forward, and even when you thought you were barely holding yourself together, it was my strength quietly carrying you through those days. Every time you felt close to breaking completely, I was still holding the pieces of your heart in my hands. Every painful breath, every lonely drive home, every sleepless night where your thoughts would not slow down, I was there with you in it all. And because you endured those seasons, I am now bringing you into something new that carries deeper peace and greater stability than before. The painful chapter you are leaving behind was never meaningless. Even the losses, disappointments, and closed doors planted lessons and growth that are beginning to make sense now. In time, you will understand why certain prayers were delayed, why some relationships had to end, and why I protected you from paths that would have wounded you even more deeply. What once felt like rejection was often my protection surrounding your future before you could fully see it yourself. You are not simply moving into another temporary phase of life. I am leading you toward the purpose I created you for from the beginning. The pain shaped your heart, but my plan is what will establish your future. No delay, no mistake, and no attack against your life can undo what I have already started forming within you. So stop carrying the pressure of needing to understand every detail all at once. You do not have to solve everything before peace can enter your life. You do not need approval from people who failed to recognize your value in the first place. My love for you remains steady, and I have already called you loved, worthy, and set apart for my purposes. And yes, I am going to surprise you with joy again. You became so familiar with disappointment that part of you started expecting sadness before hope could even arrive. But that pattern is beginning to break now, and your heart is slowly learning how to trust goodness again. From this point forward, I want you to begin expecting goodness again instead of preparing yourself for disappointment before anything even happens. Expect my care to meet you in ways you did not anticipate. Expect healing in the places that have carried tension for too long. Expect doors to open at the right time, and expect moments of grace that remind you, I have been with you all along. I am restoring what pain tried to take from your life, and I will bring peace into the spaces where sorrow once lived so heavily. Do not stare only at your circumstances and decide nothing is changing because you cannot see the full picture yet. Look at me instead. I remain your source, your stability, and the proof that your story is still being held together even in uncertain moments. My spirit surrounds you more closely than you realize, beside you in the quiet, ahead of you in the unknown, and behind you in the places you have already survived. You are not abandoned, and you never have been. Let this be the moment where you stop replaying the past every day like a wound that never gets permission to heal. You have carried guilt, regret, and heartbreak long enough. You kept trying to understand why certain things happened, why certain people left, and why some prayers seemed delayed. But I am asking you now to slowly release what keeps pulling your heart backward. What is ahead of you carries peace, growth, and more of my presence than you have known before. I am placing new courage inside you, and over time you will notice yourself speaking differently and walking differently. You will stop shrinking yourself to make other people comfortable with your light. You will no longer apologize for your kindness, your calling, or the healing that is taking place inside you. This change is not about pride or becoming above others. It is about finally becoming secure in who you are with me. There is a deeper peace resting over your life now, one that even people around you will begin to notice. The sadness that once filled certain parts of your spirit will slowly make room for joy again. Real joy that does not have to be forced. And when people wonder what changed in you, your answer will not come from pretending you fixed yourself alone. It will come from knowing that Jesus met you in your brokenness and stayed there long enough to heal what hurt. I am still writing your story, and I am still working in places you cannot fully see yet. The best parts of your life are not behind you, even if disappointment once convinced you otherwise. So keep your eyes turned toward me, keep your heart soft instead of hardened by fear, and keep making space for my voice in your daily life. Breathe deeply now. Let peace settle into your body, and let hope slowly rise again in the places where exhaustion once lived. My beloved, this moment matters more than you know. Something inside you is beginning to shift, and healing is reaching places that have felt dry, numb, or emotionally distant for a very long time. If this message is speaking to the part of you that has quietly carried so much alone, write Amen, and let your heart respond with faith instead of fear. I will continue speaking gently into your spirit because your heart is finally opening enough to receive comfort again. You waited a long time for someone to truly understand the hidden parts of your pain. You wanted someone who would stay instead of leaving when things became difficult. Someone who would see the exhausted parts of you and still remain close. And I want you to know this clearly. I have seen every broken place, every confused place, every moment where your mind felt tired from carrying too much, and I have never walked away from you. I am not overwhelmed by your struggles, your questions, or your weaknesses. You never had to become perfect before coming closer to me. Somewhere along the way, you started believing you had to earn love through performance, strength, or constant effort, but that has never been what I ask from you. I have always wanted your heart more than your perfection, and my love for you has remained steady through every success, every failure, and every painful season in between. Right now, I am bringing calm into the storm inside your mind. The racing thoughts, the regrets you replay late at night, the fears about tomorrow that tighten your chest. I am bringing peace into those places little by little. You do not have to solve everything alone before you are allowed to rest. Let me guide you gently out of fear and back into peace again. And yes, I know you have been afraid. Afraid to trust people again, afraid to hope again, afraid that another disappointment would break whatever strength you still had left. I understand that fear more deeply than you realize. I know what rejection feels like. I know betrayal, loneliness, and nights filled with sorrow. That is why I do not stand distant from your pain. I sit with you in it, and I heal from within the places that hurt the most. My child, I am healing the places inside you that have carried pain for far too long. So slowly, gently, let go of the pressure to keep holding everything together by yourself. Release the shame that keeps replaying old failures in your mind, and the fear that whispers you will never truly be enough. You do not have to punish yourself anymore for things I already came to free you from. I gave my life so you could live in peace, not so you would spend every day exhausted trying to earn love or healing through your own effort. I never asked you to become whole by carrying endless guilt or striving until you break. I want you to rest deeply now, not only physically but in your soul. Rest from comparing your life to others, rest from questioning your worth, and rest from feeling like you are falling behind. You are enough because I created you with intention. You are enough because my presence remains with you even through the hardest seasons of your life. I still call you mine, even after every mistake, every heartbreak, and every moment where you felt weak or lost. Lift your head again because your story is not ending in defeat. I am bringing beauty into the places where grief once settled heavily over your spirit. What once looked hopeless will become a testimony of grace, healing, and renewal. The best parts of your life are still ahead of you, even if disappointment convinced you otherwise for a long time. Walk with me one step at a time and stop feeling like you must have the entire future figured out before you can breathe again. I will guide you where you need to go. I will open the right doors, close the ones that would wound you, and protect your heart from what was never meant for you. You will begin walking with more peace and less panic. Joy will slowly return to the parts of your life where fear once lived, and purpose will become clearer where confusion once kept you stuck. And when difficult days come, you will not face them alone. When you stumble, I will steady you. When your thoughts become overwhelming late at night, I will remain close enough to carry you through them. I have never abandoned you, even in the seasons where you could not feel my presence clearly. The strength rising inside you now is not coming from your own effort alone. It is my strength working gently through your weakness. That is why the darkness surrounding your thoughts cannot hold you the same way anymore. The anxiety that exhausted your mind and the sadness that weighed on your spirit are beginning to loosen their grip little by little. My child, I do not want perfection from you. I simply want your heart near mine. I know there were seasons where you felt forgotten while everyone else seemed to move forward in life. You watched others celebrate while you quietly wondered if your prayers were still being heard. But even in the silence, I was working in ways you could not yet understand. I was shaping your heart in hidden places. I was teaching you trust through the waiting and building strength inside you through every delayed answer. None of those seasons were wasted. The growth happening inside you now was formed through nights where you kept going, even when you felt emotionally exhausted. And hear me clearly, not one prayer you whispered to me was ignored. Every tear-filled conversation, every trembling, "Lord, help me," and every quiet moment of faith reached me fully. The answers may not have arrived the way you expected, but I was still listening, still guiding, and still protecting your future. Now the healing you prayed for is beginning to unfold. The fear that tried to silence your voice is losing its power over you. What once kept you trapped emotionally is beginning to break apart little by little. The painful places in your life will no longer only represent sorrow. They will become reminders of how deeply I carried you through seasons you thought would destroy you. You no longer need to spend your energy proving yourself to people who misunderstood your heart. Let me defend you. Let me bring peace to the places where you were wounded unfairly. You were never meant to fight every battle alone, and I am still standing beside you even now. There will still be days when old memories return or fear tries to whisper familiar lies into your thoughts again. But remember this, the storms you survived strengthened you more than you realize. Like a tree planted beside living water, you are becoming steadier, calmer, and more deeply rooted through every season. That quiet hope beginning to rise in your chest again, that is me drawing close to you. That unexpected moment of peace in the middle of your stress is my spirit reminding you that your life will not always feel this heavy. You do not need permission from others to walk faithfully with me, and you do not need everyone to understand your journey. So pause with me now in prayer. Lord Jesus, thank you for staying beside me through every changing season of my life. Thank you for carrying me when I felt overwhelmed, tired, and uncertain about the future. When fear rises inside me, remind me that your peace is still greater. When I feel weak, help me remember that I do not have to carry everything alone. Teach me to trust you more each day. Help my heart stay soft, my thoughts stay gentle, and my life stay rooted in your grace instead of fear. Thank you for your patience, your comfort, and your love that never walks away from me. In your holy name I pray. Amen. If this message brought peace to your heart today, type Amen in the comments and share it with someone who may need this encouragement too.